Big night for President Trump as two of his picks for the Senate took home some victories in Pennsylvania and Nebraska there last night. Trump congratulating the pair in a series of tweets this morning, saying the people in Nebraska have seen what a great job Deb Fischer has been doing and that his friend Lou Barletta will represent the people of Pennsylvania well, like they haven't been in many years. This momentum clearly seems to be on the side of Republicans right now, with the threat of a big blue wave in November perhaps fading. Joining me right now is former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski, who has just joined Vice President Mike Pence's Political Action Committee. And I know you're going to be playing a big role in all of these elections in the coming months. Thanks for joining me, Corey. What's the message? What are you driving home to get your candidates elected?
Well, Trish, the message is very clear and it's very simple. This is an economy that is booming. It is unemployment at the lowest historic levels for African Americans and for Hispanic Americans that we've ever seen. We see home ownership rising. We see 401ks growing. We see the stock market taking off. This is an economy because of the tax cuts that this administration has put in place that is benefiting everybody. And when you look at that, the American people have an opportunity in November to either keep our country moving in the right direction, or they can take this country and move back to the way it was under the Obama administration, which is 1.3, 1.4, 1.5% growth. That was the new normal. We're now growing at 3%, and that's why this election in November is not going to be a blue wave. This is going to, the Republicans will be expanding their majorities in the U.S. Senate. I'll all but guarantee it.
What happens if things don't go your way? I mean, does the president run the risk of getting impeached? Because, you know, if Maxine Waters has her way, that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, where does the country go if Republicans don't get the seats, in your view?
Well, Tricia, I think the Democrats have been very clear. Their playbook, and they've said this very publicly now, is to rescind the tax cuts and put tax increases on the American people because they believe that the government can spend your money better than you can. That's the methodology of the Democratic Party. They have no vision. They have no thoughts. They have no ideas. So they go back to the old playbook. And kid yourself not. If Nancy Pelosi is elected the Speaker of the House, her first order of business will be to begin the articles of impeachment against this president.
Impeachment.
Absolutely.
Okay, I mean, I was going to go to the tax issue because she's laid that one out there. I mean, I don't know, Corey, how that makes any sense. You and I grew up in New Hampshire. And we know that folks there in the Granite State, they don't like, it doesn't matter what side you're on, they don't like higher taxes because they fundamentally believe they are better spenders of money than the government is. That's not something Nancy Pelosi believes, and she's said it over and over again, that people's taxes would be going up. I don't know how that plays anywhere, frankly. I mean, maybe that's just my own New Hampshire bias, but you tell people their taxes are going up, I don't think that's going to sit well.
Trish, you're exactly right. And look, the people who are benefiting from the tax cuts are everyday, mom and pops who go to work every day. They see more money in their paychecks every week. We see businesses reinvesting. We see businesses giving bonuses to their employees. Look what Walmart's been able to do. Hundreds of millions of dollars of bonuses have been given out to employees because of these tax cuts. And if the Democrats think the solution is to tax you more, take more of your money, it shows just how out of step they are with what the American values have been and continue to be, which is let me have my own money. Look, Trish, like you said, in the Granite State, in our home state, Trish, we have a balanced budget requirement. You cannot spend more than the state brings in. We should think about having that at the national level. It's long overdue. Just like mom and dad have to do, they have to balance their checkbook, the federal government should have to do the same thing.
Corey, I love that idea. I love that idea. Hey, before I let you go, you had a very innovative approach to campaigning, as did the president. How much, in your view, as a campaign manager, does the candidate itself matter? I mean, you look at what happened, for example, with Connor Lamb in Pennsylvania, right? Connor Lamb, who embraced, actually, a lot of the same policies that our president has, but may have been more of the campaign type candidate that those voters wanted. How much does the candidate play into it?
Oh, the candidates absolutely matter. Good candidates are the ones that are out working hard. They're talking to people every day. They understand the districts and the people that they're trying to represent, and they are a microcosm of those districts, and they bring those same values here to Washington, D.C., or to whoever they represent. It's very important. Lazy candidates, candidates that don't want to go out and work hard, they deserve to lose, and I think the voters, by and large, are very smart. Donald Trump sheer outworked crooked Hillary Clinton in the last election, and the American people rewarded him by making him the 45th president of the United States.
Yeah, plus he came up with those monikers like
Yes,
Crooked
he did.
Hillary, which kind of stuck for many people. Anyway, Corey, we look forward to seeing what you're going to do. I'll talk to you again soon.